Hello everyone. Till now we have seen the concept of Nyquist plot and the Nyquist stability criteria. We also covered one numerical for the Nyquist plot. Now let us see second numerical for the Nyquist plot. So here we want to draw the Nyquist plot for the given open loop transfer function g of s h of s equal to s plus 2 over s plus 1 s minus 1, and we also want to determine the stability of a closed loop system using Nyquist stability criteria. So already I told you to solve numerical for Nyquist stability criteria, or you can say to draw the Nyquist plot. First we have to draw the Nyquist path or Nyquist contour. And how we can define the Nyquist contour? We can draw the Nyquist contour in S plane according to principle of argument. That means Nyquist path should not pass through the singular point of function f of s, or should not pass through pole at the origin or poles on the j omega axis of open loop transfer function. So let us see how we can define the Nyquist contour or Nyquist path according to given open loop transfer function. In S plane, horizontal will define sigma, vertical will define j omega. According to the open loop transfer function, we don't have any pole on the origin. We don't have any pole on the j omega axis. So in this case, Nyquist path or Nyquist contour will cover whole j omega axis and will cover complete right half of S plane. Now let us see how we can define Nyquist contour or Nyquist path. So this is our Nyquist contour or Nyquist path for the given open loop transfer function. Here we have minus j infinity. Here we have plus j infinity. To cover complete right half of S plane, we will define infinite radius of given semicircle. This point will define origin. So you can say for upper half, this is 0 plus or plus 0 plus, and for lower half it will define minus 0 minus. Suppose this section is C1, this section is C2, and this section is C3. So to define Nyquist plot, we will map all sections of Nyquist contour or Nyquist path from S plane to GH plane. So let us see how we can map the section C1 for Nyquist path from S plane to GH plane. So here I am considering section C1. So what will happen along section C1? You can easily see that we have section C1 on the j omega axis or on the imaginary axis. So we can write s equal to j omega. And here omega will vary from 0 to infinity, or you can say 0 plus to infinity, or you can say 0 plus to infinity. So according to s equal to j omega, let us define a given open loop transfer function. So we have gj omega hj omega, because we want to map section C1 for Nyquist path from S plane to GH plane. So that's why gj omega hj omega becomes j omega plus 2 divided by j omega plus 1 j omega minus 1. Now let us define a magnitude of gj omega hj omega. Suppose it is capital M. So we have magnitude under root 4 plus omega square divided by under root 1 plus omega square under root 1 plus omega square. Similarly, we can write phase angle. Suppose phase angle is denoted by phi. We can write phase angle with the half of tan inverse imaginary upon real. So for numerator polynomial, we have phase angle tan inverse omega by 2. For denominator polynomial, for first term, we have phase angle minus tan inverse omega. And for second term, in denominator polynomial, we have phase angle minus tan inverse omega over minus 1. And you know, third term will define value of x by in you can say here y is positive, and x is negative. So we have a point in second quadrant, and angle we will define from positive real axis in counterclockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction. So to define angle corresponding to x by in second quadrant, first we will join origin with a given point we know the value of this angle. Suppose it is theta, so we have value tan inverse omega, because this is 1 and this value is omega. But here we want to define this angle. Suppose it is theta 1. So total we have 180 degree angle. That's why theta 1 becomes 180 degree minus theta. Theta already we know. So we have 180 degree minus tan inverse omega. So we can write in general form tan inverse y over minus x equal to 180 degree minus tan inverse y over x. So what is the actual value of tan inverse y over minus x? It is 180 degree minus tan inverse y over x. That's why we have phase angle according to tan inverse omega y2 minus tan inverse omega minus 180 degree minus tan inverse omega. So finally we have value minus 180 degree plus tan inverse omega by 2. This will define phase angle for the given transfer function. Suppose second equation. First suppose magnitude equation. Now define magnitude and phase angle for omega equal to 0 and for omega equal to infinity from first equation and from second equation. So from first equation for omega equal to 0, magnitude we have 2, phase angle we have minus 180 degree. For omega equal to infinity, from first we have magnitude 0, we have a phase angle from second, it is minus 90 degree. Now let us see how we can draw the plot according to magnitude and phase angle for different values of omega in GH plane. In GH plane, horizontal will define real of GH, vertical will define imaginary of GH. So here we have phase angle minus 180 degree for omega equal to 0. So this is 0 degree line minus 90 degree line minus 180 degree line minus 270 degree line. So for omega equal to 0, we have a phase angle minus 180 degree and magnitude 2. So we will mark magnitude here, or you can say we will mark magnitude on 180 degree line. Here we have omega equal to 0 or 0 plus. And for omega equal to infinity, we have magnitude 0, phase angle minus 90 degree. And we know at the origin we have 0 value. So, but we have 0 value along with the minus 90 degree line, because we have phase angle minus 90 degree for omega equal to infinity. So we have a plot in third quadrant like this, and here we have omega equal to infinity. Here we have magnitude 2, here we have magnitude, here we have magnitude 0. Direction from omega equal to 0 to omega equal to infinity. So this plot will define a mapping of section C1 from S plane to GH plane. Basically this is polar plot, you can say. Now let us see mapping of section C3. First we will define mapping of section C3, after that we will define mapping of section C2. So if we will see section C3, or if we will consider section C3, you can write along section C3. From the diagram you can say S equal to j omega, and omega will vary from minus infinity to minus 0 minus. So we have S equal to j omega, omega will vary from minus infinity to minus 0 minus, or you can say minus 0. So we can write it as S equal to minus j omega, omega will vary from infinity to 0. Let us define open loop transfer function for S equal to minus j omega. So we have g of minus j omega, h of minus j omega equal to minus j omega plus 2 divided by minus j omega plus 1 minus j omega minus 1. So magnitude is given by under root 4 plus omega square divided by under root 1 plus omega square into under root 1 plus omega square. This is my magnitude equation for second case. So you can write 1 dash. Similarly, we can write phase angle with the help of tan inverse minus omega by 2 minus tan inverse minus omega by 1 minus tan inverse minus omega over minus 1. So here first we'll define value of xy in second quadrant. Second will also define value of xy in second quadrant, and third will define value of xy in third quadrant. So first we will write actual angle for tan inverse minus omega by 2, then for tan inverse minus omega by 1, then for tan inverse minus omega over minus 1. Now let us see what will happen if we have xy or points in a second quadrant. Okay, sorry, for here first term will define a value of xy in fourth quadrant, because x is positive, y is negative. So first will define a value of xy in fourth quadrant. Similarly, for second, according to x and y, we can say we have a point in a fourth quadrant. We have a point in a fourth quadrant. Okay, now let us see what will happen if we have a point in a fourth quadrant. So here we have x positive, y negative. So for first we have tan inverse minus omega by 2. Omega by 2. So this is omega and this value will define 2. So we have point in fourth quadrant. Let us join with the origin, and we know the value of this angle. We can easily define, suppose theta, it is a tan inverse omega by 2, but we want to calculate the value of this angle, and this angle, suppose theta 1. Total we have 360 degree angle. So theta 1 becomes 360 degree minus theta, or you can say 360 degree minus tan inverse omega by 2. So in general, you can say if we have a phase angle like tan inverse minus omega by 2, so we can write it as 360 minus tan inverse omega by 2. Similarly, if we have any point in third quadrant, then what will happen? We have x negative, we have y negative, and we know value is tan inverse minus omega over minus 1. So this is omega, this is 1. So we have point in third quadrant. Let us join with the origin. We know the value of this angle, suppose theta, tan inverse omega by 1, but we want to determine the value of this angle, suppose theta 1. So here theta 1 becomes 180 plus theta, 180 plus theta, or you can say 180 plus tan inverse omega over 1, or tan inverse omega, simply you can write. So we can say if we have value of phase angle like tan inverse minus omega over minus 1, or you can say tan inverse minus y over minus x, so its value becomes 180 degree plus tan inverse omega y1, tan inverse omega y1. So phase angle equation becomes phi equal to 360 degree minus tan inverse omega y2. Similarly, for second term we can write minus 360 degree minus of 360 degree minus tan inverse omega y1, because we have second term tan inverse minus omega over 1. And for third term we can write minus of 180 degree plus tan inverse omega y1. So if we will simplify, we have minus 180 degree minus tan inverse omega y2. Suppose second dash. So from first dash and second dash we can write the value of magnitude and phase angle for omega equal to infinity and for omega equal to 0. So for omega equal to infinity, because omega is varying from infinity to 0, so first I am considering omega equal to infinity, then omega equal to 0. So for omega equal to infinity, magnitude becomes 0, phase angle becomes minus 270 degree, and for omega equal to 0, magnitude becomes 2, phase angle becomes minus 180 degree. Now let us see how we can plot. So in GH plane, you know, horizontal will define real of GH, vertical will define imaginary of GH. This is 0 degree line, minus 90 degree line, minus 180 degree line, minus 270 degree line. So what will happen? For omega equal to infinity, we have magnitude 0, phase angle minus 270 degree. So this will define a minus 270 degree line, and here we have magnitude 0, and here we have omega equal to infinity. For omega equal to 0, we have magnitude 2, phase angle minus 180 degree. So this line will define phase angle of value minus 180 degree. So we can define magnitude 2 if we will consider any point on the minus 180 degree line. Here we have magnitude 2 and omega equal to 0. Let us join. So we have plot like this, direction from omega equal to infinity to omega equal to 0. So this is a mapping of section C3 from S plane to GH plane, and you can say this is a mirror image. Already I have told you in numerical, this is a mirror image of polar plot, but with opposite sign. Now let us see last section, section 3. Last section is section C2. Section C2. If we will see section C2, you can say section C2 in S plane is a semicircle. Already I told you, of infinite radius, and we want to map this section from S plane to GH plane. So we can map C2 from S plane to GH plane by substituting S equal to limit r tends to infinity, capital R e to the power j theta, and theta in diagram you can say theta will vary from plus 90 to minus 90, because this line will define a 90 degree line, this line will define minus 90 degree line. So you can say theta will vary from plus 90 to minus 90. So for C2, theta will vary from plus 90 to minus 90. Now let us define a transfer function for s equal to r e to the power j theta as r goes to infinity. So we have value limit r tends to infinity r e to the power j theta plus 2 divided by r e to the power j theta plus 1 r e to the power j theta minus 1. So here r goes to infinity, so you can compare you can ignore 2 with respect to first term in numerator polynomial. Similarly, in denominator polynomial, you can ignore 1 with respect to first term. Similarly, you can ignore 1 with respect to first term. So we have limit r tends to infinity r e to the power j theta divided by r e to the power j theta into r e to the power j theta. Or you can say we have limit r tends to infinity 1 over r e to the power j theta. So here 1 over r will define magnitude and e to the power minus j theta will define phase angle. So magnitude becomes limit r tends to infinity 1 by r means you can say 0, and phase angle b can define with the help of term 1 over e to the power j theta or e to the power minus j theta. So here phase angle is minus theta, because in polar form r will define magnitude and theta will define phase angle. We can write any complex number in polar form with the help of r e to the power j theta. So here we have phase angle minus theta. Theta will vary from plus 90 to minus 90 degree. So here we have phase angle minus 90 degree to plus 90 degree. This is a second double dash and this is a one double dash. So you can say C2 in S plane is mapped into a point at the origin of GH plane, or you can say C2 in S plane is mapped according to a point at the origin of GH plane because we have magnitude 0. Now let us see how we can define Nyquist plot. We can define Nyquist plot if we combine all mapped sections. After that we have a Nyquist plot in GH plane. So in GH plane, horizontal will define real of GH, vertical will define imaginary of GH. Let us define first plot. Let us define a second plot. Third, you are saying C2 from S plane is mapped according to a point at the origin in GH plane. So here we have origin. Here we have value 2, here we have value 0, here we have omega equal to 0 plus, here we have omega equal to infinity, and here we have omega equal to 0 minus. Now to define stability for the closed loop system according to the Nyquist stability criteria, first we will show critical point, means minus 1 comma j0. So obviously this value is 2, so minus 1 comma j0 will lie in the closed path or inside the closed path. Now let us define value of n. N means number of n circlements. of minus 1 comma j0 by Nyquist plot of open loop transfer function g of s h of s. So here we have n equal to minus 1 because critical point is encircled by one time in a anti-clockwise direction, or you can say in counterclockwise direction. That's why we have n equal to minus 1. And we know general formula n equal to z minus p. P means number of poles for the open loop transfer function lie in the right half of S plane. So according to the transfer function, you have one pole in right half of S plane. So P becomes 1. N becomes minus 1. So from equation A, we have n minus 1 z minus 1. So we have z equal to 0. Z means number of poles for closed loop transfer function lie in right half of S plane. So we can say there is no pole for the closed loop system in right half of S plane. That's why our system becomes stable. And here we are discussing stability of closed loop system. But we have a Nyquist plot for open loop transfer function or for open loop system. But according to Nyquist stability criteria, we are defining the stability of the closed loop system. So our closed loop system becomes stable. So this is Nyquist plot. This is a Nyquist plot, and this is Nyquist stability criteria, and we have this equation according to principle of argument. This is a mathematical representation for Nyquist stability criteria. Thank you.